One day, college student Yuuhi Amamiya awakens to a lizard in his room. The lizard started talking to him, calling itself Sir Noi Crezant, the Knight of the Princess, knowing that what he's about to say may be hard to believe, but he needs the boy's assistance to save the world. Believing he's hallucinating, Yuuhi simply throws the lizard away. The girl next door sees this, looking concerned but laughing it off. Unfortunately, Noi keeps reappearing, angered, explaining that it may be hard to believe, but they are bound to each other, and the planet is in danger. Yuuhi picks up the lizard by its tail, explaining in order to let an animal obey, you must establish dominance, pulling it in such a way. Yuuhi explains he never gave it permission to come inside its house, so it needs to leave. The knight calls the boy a knave, angered but agrees to some extent. Yuuhi throws it again. The lizard comes back while he's riding his bike. A ring appears on Yuuhi's hand, allowing him to use magic, though he gets in trouble when he uses his ability to see up the skirt of his professor, Hazumi. Back at his room, the two talk about what to do, with Yuuhi keeping his selfish attitude with the knight, with him remembering chains around his body and the voice of his grandfather, souring his mood, being fine if the world ended today, seeming more like a villain than a hero. Noi demands that Yuuhi locate the princess and defeat an evil mage, but he refuses. While he's out trying to get some dinner, he's suddenly attacked by a golem. He's able to dodge his initial attack by using his telekinesis bubble, but the golem is too fast, and he's only able to survive because of his next door neighbor, Samadori Asahina, saving him and revealing that she's the princess with the spirit of Anima inhabiting her body. The girl has a rash and almost air bubble personality, not knowing much about what's going on, but willing to fight. Back at Yuuhi's room, he begins to practice his power until he gets annoyed with the lizard. Samadori feels like they met before, but she doesn't know where. Just then, Yuuhi's professor crashes into him, angered that he must have done something weird to her little sister. With Samadori saying that she's a princess to her sister, Yuuhi is punished by Hisumi. Samadori claims that they're friends, but they're deciding to take Yuuhi somewhere special to show him the evil mage's most powerful weapon, a moon-sized hammer called the Biscuit hammer, just outside of the Earth's orbit. To prove Yuuhi is a beast knight, Samadori jumps from the roof and he instinctually saves her, with the young girl's demeanor changing as she starts to give him a stare, telling the boy that they're bound together, with Samadori planning to defeat the evil mage, but only doing so that she may conquer the Earth herself. Yuuhi then pledges his loyalty to her. The boy is mesmerized and sold on the idea of destroying the Earth, willing to follow her. Yuuhi has a nightmare about his grandfather, chaining him and warning him not to make any friends and not to make any enemies. As his magic is linked to his stamina, he takes up exercise, randomly meeting up with Samadori. He's in awe of how much stronger she is than him, with the girl doing 100 push-ups with Yuuhi on her back. Samadori invites him over to her place to have some breakfast. On his way to the bathroom, Yuuhi picks the wrong door, getting in trouble with the older sister. Seeing her underwear, Yuuhi realizes that he has more fun when he's around her, but still feeling that flashback of the chains. Noi finds the boy rather peculiar, asking what he would really wish for if they actually won, but the boy dodges the question. When he asks Samadori about why she wants to destroy the Earth, she explains, saying that she actually loves the Earth, wanting to own it, but the planet will outlive her for centuries. The girl used to be very sick growing up, with the spirit of Amina keeping her alive, so once she leaves, she'll go back to being sickly and die. It's as if that she wasn't really here, so she plans to destroy the Earth and die with the planet. Wanting to further admire the sky, she grabs his hand and jumps. Yuuhi feels as if they flew just now. The girl says that he can fly much higher than she can, wanting him to take her directly to the hammer one day. Yuuhi is attacked by a golem the next day, and Samadori saves him. The boy's aunt informs him that his grandfather is in the hospital, sending him money over so that he can come and see them. But the boy lies to her, saying that he has a part-time job. Samadori asked him about if he was telling the truth just now, with him admitting that he wasn't. The boy is attempting to hone his agility so that he can run away when the golems appear. Yuuhi tries to fly across the river, but falls, catching a fever. During his fever, he sees chains, making him drown in a weight of water, but he recovers. When Samadori holds his hand, Yuuhi reveals his childhood about his grandfather chaining him up in a shed to teach him a lesson about making friends. As such, he's still terrified of chains. Samadori insists him that he has to still go visit his grandfather, and she'll make sure that chains don't frighten him anymore. Yuuhi decides that he will go and see his grandfather and grow stronger from this experience. When the boy arrives back home, he sleeps in the guest bed. Noi wonders why this is. Yuuhi explains that his aunt and her children live here now, so his cousin is taking up his room. After dinner, he answers Noi's real question about where his parents are. His father was a police officer who was murdered by his partner, and his death broke his mother's heart, who disappeared shortly after, not even attending the funeral. He was then raised by his grandfather, who taught him not to trust others, with Yuuhi's grandfather being his legal guardian. He would chain him when he strayed away from his teachings, Noi sees nothing more than a crying child, pretends to smile, making him ask, who does he hate? With the boy hating them all even being born, and wanting to be the princess, if it means this all can end. At Dogo Hospital, when the two of them are alone, his grandfather knows that his time is coming soon, claiming to have changed, apologizing to the boy, but Yuuhi cannot forgive him, with him being sad and angered that at his lowest point of his father's passing and his mother leaving, he had no one to lean on, but had to suffer more. While he's running away, while he's outside, a golem attacks him at the hospital, and he runs away, running away for an hour straight. But the lizard explains that the golems have unlimited stamina, so eventually they will catch up to him. The lizard is sad that he's going to die again, but the lizard dying over and over again. But Yuuhi rebuttals that they'll find a way out of this, but the golem attacks them, punching him into the river. Yuuhi dies from exhaustion, hallucinating about Samadori and apologizing to her, with him using the girl as his new chains, feeling that he needed someone to guide him on a path to live on, but ultimately running from responsibilities. Samadori asked him, does he love her? Getting a reaction out of the boy, so she offers to trade him a kiss. If he survives, he awakens, and Noi's sadness, still discouraged that Yuuhi is going to die, saying this is the end, but Yuuhi is determined to make it out alive, tricking the golem, and ultimately destroying it using its own weight. Yuuhi gets a call back to the hospital. When the old man sees his face, he lets it all go, accepting his fate. Yuuhi's able to forgive his grandfather, even if he and his cousin ultimately had very different childhoods and conditions with the man, asking what did he mean to him, saying love doesn't allow you to just simply get away with anything, but still using up his wish to save his grandfather, but the lizard accepting the contract, with Yuuhi being officially a knight now. While asleep, Yuuhi's about to kiss Samadori, but he wakes up. Returning home, he resumes his training with Samadori, and they're confronted by Shinami, Hengetsu, the dog knight, and his dog partner Saw, with his real name actually being Ludo. They claim to be the protectors of justice, so Yuuhi's worried how they're going to react to Samadori's plan. Shinami picks a fight with the girl, with him having lightning fast speed. Being a martial artist, Hengetsu judges the both of them, pointing out that Samadori relies too much on her brute force to win a fight, and Yuuhi's scum, who relies on dirty tactics to win. That night, Yuuhi finally receives a kiss from Samadori, with him resolved to be stronger. During their morning regiment, Shinami and the princess spar, with the man acting more like a teacher than an opponent. Yuuhi has a conversation with Ludo, asking him about Noi's past, with the dog not wanting to cooperate, getting to the point that his judgment tells him that he has an alternative plan, and he doesn't plan on actually saving the world or the princess. But Yuuhi counters how there's just his biased assumptions, with this starting a fight. All of them go back to her home to eat breakfast, with him catching her older sister, who's going to work, with this being love at first sight with Shinamiya. But the woman pays him no attention. After the pair leaves, Yuuhi remarks how they better keep their true intentions under wraps around him. The princess tells him not to be concerned by it, because either way, this planet will be destroyed. A golem attacks them while they're all alone. Shinamiya defeats their golem, and Noi explains his talents. With the man's abilities, he can easily defeat both him and the princess without using a special move. Yuuhi glares at him, knowing how difficult of an obstacle this hero will be. Shinamiya turns around and senses the bloodlust in the boy, offering to train him, feeling that he has more potential than even the princess. The next morning, the princess is exhausted from having sparred. Shinamiya stops the lesson for today to next bombard the girl with questions about her sister, wanting to know everything about her. The next time at the college, Shinamiya plans to run into Yuuhi and Asahina Sensei. Yuuhi leaves them alone, allowing the man to have a shot, with the man ultimately leaving her a gift. When he leaves, Sensei asks Yuuhi to ask the man about his little brother, with his younger sibling not coming to class anymore, ultimately failing. Yuuhi catches back up with the man, telling him about the situation that she said, but he runs off, wanting to go to hear it directly from her. Yuuhi figures out a way to actually defeat him, using Asahina Sensei as a hostage, but talks about this end when Noi yells at him, giving him a lecture that he's no better than the man that killed his father, and that he's nothing special, so he better not get too cocky, with the boy needing to rely on people, being overdependent. But the lizard is more shocked when he has no response, with the boy not caring, willing to do anything for his goal, remarking how Noi is nothing more than a bystander, who no matter how hard he tries, can't do anything about the situation. That night, the girl's fathers return back home, and Asahina Sensei, Yuuhi, and Shonami go out to have some drinks, where the girl vents out her frustration about her father, with the man being too much of a free spirit, with her father wandering the streets, leaving the two home. The man in the trench coat's actually her father, who decided to follow her since she went out for drinks with two boys, wanting to make sure his daughter was saved. But he instead hears a whole bunch of insults the entire time, with the two men already knowing he was there. So this is where we leave off in today's video. As always, if you liked the video, here's another one just like it, so go check it out. But also, if you did like it, why not subscribe to the channel? I'll be uploading more videos just like this one, so see you next time.